G'day, mate. How are you, Rosie?
G'day. Oh my God, I haven't said that in forever. I'm so happy
You know
to be able
what?
to do
When
that.
you said that, do you know what? I was talking to Kylie Minogue yesterday. She's a really great old friend of mine. And it was funny to hear her say, "G'day, mate," in an Australian accent. You sound very like Kylie. You both look beautiful.
Oh, thank
I was
you.
about to say, I think about Rosie, you look really stylish. I love the way you look.
My gosh, thank you so much.
Thanks for coming to talk to me. I really was thrilled. And you know, I told you, I just finished making the film of Elvis. I literally finished the mix of the movie on the weekend. So I'm out and about talking. But I don't know if you know, about 20 years ago, I did an issue of Vogue as a guest editor. It was about what it's like to be Australian, but to play around the world. Now, whether that's fashion or film or music or even any other form of creativity, what do you think being Australian but being at home?
You know, I feel like sometimes I feel a bit out of place because most of the people here in Korea, even if they speak English, they usually have come from the States or elsewhere. But Australia, it's not too common to this day, I feel like. So, yeah, I feel a bit unique and sometimes a bit out of place. But then I also am very grateful that I get to have that, a bit of a difference.
And so, in a way, you always feel a little bit like the outsider. And I think what that gives you is a quality of absorbing things around you.
I think it's pretty accurate. Because like in Australia, I don't know, being also Korean, I never thought that, like, I loved music, but I never thought it was a dream that I could really, grasp.
Exactly.
It wasn't like, I just have to go and audition. I was not informed or educated in like any form of shape of how to get to my dreams. It was, all by chance. But like you said, since that was the case, I was always looking out and looking at all these amazing things and absorbing everything, I think so.
And I'm just wondering that when you went to Korea, the whole training system, the discipline, the artistic level, the quality, the whole idea that you have to give your all to reach a very high standard. Is that something that you went through? Like, what was that experience like for you?
I thought I knew like what I was up for. They were like, you have to, as soon as you get there, you're gonna have to, practice hard. Have you ever danced before? And like, I've never danced in my life except for like being silly in class with my friends. And they're like, you're gonna have
sounds like me.
Yeah, you're gonna have to learn how to dance, sing, and everything. And so they're like, oh, you're gonna be really, really busy. So I was like, oh, of course, yeah, I can do it. Because back then I had been watching a lot of K-pop videos and Korean music back then also. So for me, it was just like, oh, it sounds like fun. I get there and I noticed that there are like 12 other girls who have been training day and night for about 5 years ahead of me. And I'd just gotten there. I'm 16. I came from Australia. I just went to school thinking I'm just going to be a normal, art teacher at school or something. And so when I got there, I was like, okay, so this is quite intense. And it seems as if I don't catch up, I'm going to be cut and sent right back to Australia, where I've told all my friends that I'm dropping out of school and I'm going to, working on my music. But it's like drama school, but music school. I don't know. I just said I'm going, so I left, and I didn't want to fly back without having achieved anything. So I ended up fighting for my life, training for my life, and because I couldn't
fighting for life.
I was like, I couldn't accept the fact that I'd just be cut and sent back. So I had no time to slack off, and I remember I took every minute and every second to work on my craft so that I will, make it. And I think it was a good drive. Just the fact that I had flown all the way from Australia gave me more of strength or like determination to really strive for what I was doing.
And the level of actual discipline, you know? Like you have to learn the discipline. You have to learn all of that. And that's given you incredible sense of strength. And I love the fact that you thought of it as life or death. But then, of course, the audience don't want to see the work. People are going, oh, it's so fantastic. You look so glamorous. And you're sort of going like, yeah, but it's actually it's just really hard work. They don't want to know about it. Do you find that you just can't explain the work part to people?
For sure, but I feel like sometimes for us to express, like I feel like I'm a person that has a lot that I have a lot that I want to express on a day-to-day basis, but for me to do that in like through art, I need to really work on my craft so that I have that tunnel to express that in a form of art. And so, like you said, it takes way more work than you would expect.
Now, I'm interested about that because I think there's a great comparison between Elvis as the first ever idol and the whole idea of idols in K-pop. I think it's quite a similar journey, you know? But out of interest, Rosie, what do you know about Elvis? Isn't he a good Halloween costume? I don't mind what you say, but I'm just interested in the truth.
First time I listened to Elvis Presley was, so I grew up watching Disney movies.
For sure.
Lilo and Stitch had just come out. And
yes.
My sister and I were absolutely obsessed. And here's the fun part. We're living in New Zealand, and my family and I, we take like a summer trip to Australia. I think we went to the Gold Coast back then, and my dad rented a car. On our way from New Zealand to Australia, we had bought a Lilo and Stitch CD. And I remember, the only song I remember on that CD is Hound Dog. I think it probably must have been my favorite one. We just had that CD on repeat the whole trip. And so that's my first impression, I think, of Elvis Presley. And so it was a very friendly introduction to him.
I do think what you and what you personally are doing and your personal style, and I think you make a lot of Australians proud, and it inspires the next generation, you know? I just want to wish you just so much more goodwill. I hope we all get to work together at some point. Please give my best to the rest of the performers in Blackpink, because you guys are cutting a swathe through popular culture, and that's not easy to do.
Wow.
And if you see Teddy, give him my love. I think he's the coolest.
Definitely will. Thank you so much. This was so much fun, Baz. But before we leave, can I just say one thing? I'm sure you have thousands of people who say this to you, but I must say, I think a big part of me dreaming of becoming whoever I'm, trying to be today is I absolutely loved Moulin Rouge, and I liked a bunch of other movies after that, and I noticed the reason why I liked those movies was because the protagonist looked like, reminded me so much of Nicole Kidman in Moulin Rouge, and I think that really inspired me to become, a female artist that I am, and, I still dream to be that glamorous, fragile, but, such a beautiful, performer, and it's like really, I'm so honored to be able to do this with you today. Just wanted to say that.
You know what, Rosie? I'm going to see Nicole, and I'm going to tell her that and I'll tell you what else, that she's inspired you and the next generation because she cares so much about that.
Oh, wow.
But I'm also going to tell her that, I tell you something for you. I think the other inspiration is that she's expanded. Like later on in her career, she starts making her own films, her own materials, And so she's a great inspiration for how always grow. Just always keep growing, never stop learning,
Love that.
I will tell you said that. It'll mean a lot to her, I can guarantee it.
Thank you.
All right. Why don't I walk up to the camera and do a fade out like this?
Bye.
Ciao.